all about building trust and delivering truth. Here we go. Jessica, you get the first statement, myth or fact. Here we go. Addiction is a bad habit, the result of moral weakness and overindulgence. Myth or fact?
We've been talking about that the whole time. That is a myth. And I say so.
Please explain in a couple of sentences. Please explain.
Yes, it is a myth because it has to do with mental health. It has to do with the physical. And it definitely depends on, there's those perspectives out there, but the disease component, that this is, an addiction. Dr. Weiner talked about the genetic component, things in that nature. So we know it's not a bad habit. We know it has nothing to do with a habit. In fact, that's why it's got its own word, addiction.
Wonderful. Here we go. Next statement. This is for you, Brad. I got this one for you. Here we go. Here's a statement. Those recovering from substance use disorders have access to the same support services that were available to them pre-pandemic.
It's kind of bordering right in the middle. It's myth and fact. I mean, we do still have like 12-step meetings. It's all gone virtual. Everybody is trying to work with what they have right now. I believe a lot of places are up and running to the best of their ability, and they're adapting to the situation the best they can. I mean, we will get through this. There is hope and light at the end of the tunnel. Things just might be a little bit different in the present moment. So I would say, it is myth with a little bit of fact.
All right, thank you. All right, here we go. Dr. Weiner, I like this one. Myth or fact? Nobody will voluntarily seek treatment until they've hit rock bottom. Myth or fact?
I think there's a little bit of both in there too, and this was alluded to before. Really the bottom line is that you have to have a really strong motivating factor, because there's a lot of biological, psychological, and social factors holding you in place. So until it becomes more uncomfortable, until your fear of staying where you are is more than the fear of going without your substance, which is a very scary idea if you're caught in an addiction, you're not going to move. And so for some people, they do have to lose everything in their life. For some people, they can see the train coming and make the step beforehand, but you got to have a lot of motivation.
All right, here we go. Thank you, Dr. Weiner. Jessica, here's a statement. Myth or fact? You can't force someone into treatment.
I would say that's in the middle too, because you can technically force somebody into treatment.
I guess the court order can force somebody.
So that might be a myth, because you can. Now, can you make them do the work? No, but technically, I know for a fact Cook County has a Haymarket in their jail, so you literally could get locked up into a treatment center.
All right, thank you. Here we go. Brad, next statement for you. Here we go. We should strive to find the magic bullet to treat all forms of substance use disorders. The one-size-fits-all approach. Myth or fact?
I would say myth.
Please explain.
Magic bullet. Addiction is so case by case. You have to meet a patient or somebody struggling with substance use disorder where they're at. And you have to kind of tailor make their road to recovery from that point forward, whether that's one-on-one therapy, counseling, 12-step programs, refuge recovery, smart recovery. There's so many different options out there to where there isn't ever going to be one magic bullet. Now, if we come up with that would be great. But I think people are so much individuals and have so much different to offer just in life in general. Their recovery process has to be tailored to that as well. So they get engaged and they want to enjoy the experience of recovery.
All right, thank you, Brad. Here we go. We'll do a couple more of these. Here we go. Dr. Weiner, here's a statement for you. All right. I like this one on this list. Here we go. The longer the pandemic lasts, the more likely patients or clients will relapse. Myth or fact? It's kind of your crystal ball thinking into the future a little bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with fact here. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say fact. I think there's added weight. I think that as time goes on, as this gets harder, I think there's gonna be more people out of job. Basically, substance use is in many ways an unhealthy way of coping with stress and problems and anxiety and pressure. And so if you are genetically predisposed, if you were already starting down that road, the more that this mounts and the more stress that's heaped onto you, I think the more problems that we're going to see. Our society is already off kind of in the wrong foot in terms of increasing addiction and addictive behaviors in this period. So fortunately, yeah, I think the longer this goes on, the more problems we're going to see.
All right, we'll do one more. Here you go, Jessica. This one's for you. Here's a statement. We only need to worry about those people who were previously susceptible to substance use disorders prior to COVID-19. Myth or fact? Worrying about people only people that were susceptible prior to the pandemic. Myth or fact?
Myth. Definitely myth.
Please.
Yes. People who are susceptible, there may be addiction forming right now in the middle of the pandemic. I think Dr. Weiner just spoke on that, is that people are starting to use it as a coping mechanism to relieve whatever they're going through and living in the fear. I'm sure that in my own experience, I've experienced like high amounts of anxiety and fearful, because if you're watching the news 24/7, if you are, around people that are elderly or that are susceptible to the virus, you're in fearful. So if you're living in that state, seeking out substance to use it, you never knew, you're probably opening up a can of worms you didn't know exist. So.
All right, there you go. Myth versus facts, everyone. So we got about 5 minutes left.